I greatly appreciate you tuning in to this midday market report. Infamous, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you continuing to tune in despite the difficulties on YouTube. I thank you so much. I thank everybody who tunes in during the live or post market report when it becomes available on YouTube. It should be immediately after. It means a lot to me for you to come in here and watch this. I think it's very important for us all to understand what's going on day to day within the market. So let me timestamp this real quick. Good mid-afternoon, 1:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, or anybody who's watching after the live. Thank you so much. We have a lot of stuff working on today as we're waiting what I believe is going to be a 25 base point rate hike tomorrow, but we never know. Nick, welcome in. Oh, Johnson, good afternoon. Cam, I much appreciate you tuning in always. Oh, Janeba, Iris, welcome in. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. As we can see, the market's fallen under a bit of pressure in the Dow, down 256 points on the day. As I said, we're awaiting what I think is going to be a Fed rate hike tomorrow, but the market has not priced that in. So if we do get a rate hike and this breaks down, I think the market's planning on a cut. I really do. And if we do get a rate hike, we could have a little bit of a dump here. But you never know. Even with the rate hike, the market very well could push this up. This is a bullish setup here until we break down. We would need to break down under 34,000. I would say to be safe, 250. And then that could be considered an M-topping reversal on a bit of a bear flag breakdown. But this is the formation that needs to bust to the downside for this to start reversing. In the daily time frame, a higher time frame, we finally are trying to have a cross here. So would it be any... Is the market trying to dictate to us right now we're about to have a rate hike tomorrow by showing us we're about to have a bearish cross, and these are lagging indicators. So by the time you actually realize what's going on, this move would have already been complete. And are we going to have a drop down here right on the news? Should we be somewhere around 33,900 and seeing what's about to happen? Mitchell, good afternoon. Do you know what the 8 tokens on the list are? It's funny you should mention that. For anybody who hasn't seen yet, I did do a 3.5-minute update just about what was on here. If you haven't seen it yet, I talked about the New York regulator delisting Ripple and 7 tokens, but I'm going to talk about this today as well as XRP price at risk as New York. The NYDFS removes Ripple from approved tokens list. So there's more than 8. It was actually, last night it came out as 24, but now there's 8 confirmed. And we can go through the list in a little bit, but I want to go through the midday market report real quick. So excellent question. I believe this all plays into the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Not the story that was shared. Some people are saying FUD, yada, 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 in the comments of what I shared. That's not FUD. The New York regulator actually came out and said that. That's not, the FUD is they're trying to make you think that you're not going to be able to trade XRP in these tokens in the USA, which is absolutely obscene. Maybe in New York, but that's already been a big problem in the United States within the New York jurisdiction for some time. California, and there's a few others that have issues. Texas, for certain exchanges. I think it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the rest are stable coins. It is not, exactly, it is not FUD. I agree with that, Mitchell. KM, you think it's Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, that's interesting because, so basically, you're looking for the hot word now, right? Watch this. New York City removes stable coins because we know so XRP, Dogecoin, Litecoin. So here you go, real quick. So 25 tokens. We'll get into this after the midday market report. I'm doing my due diligence for everybody who's watching. Make sure you hit that like button as we have 34 people in here now. That is unbelievably awesome. 17 likes. Make sure you hit that like button, as that will greatly help push this content through the analytics. You will notice day after day that this will be the least viewed thing that I put out all day. But I think it's the most important information you can get so that you can make an educated and informed decision on the charts. Yep. Yes, it has, Mitchell. That's what they have on their list, though. Oh, yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Bitcoin and Ethereum are, yes. I thought, I was just going a little bit deeper with it. So DXY at 104.118. This is also in a rising channel. And I still say they're not done with this. I feel like they're not done overinflating that. They can't. What are they going to do? Are they going to let the US dollar drop down and make the reality for especially the middle class in the USA realize how bad it really is? Most of the middle class right now, or lower middle class especially, is up to their eyeballs in credit card debt to where their limits are already being reached. What do you think happens after that? You start losing your house. You start shutting off your utilities. You lose your transportation. That's the problem. So I think we're probably going to still make a move up to 106.42 on the next push up, as this still seems like a bullish proposition here. It has not lost the rising channel. I don't believe the golden cross and the dailies finished pushing that last move. And I still say they can come back up to the top of the formation and double top here. Well, I mean, it's not a double top, but it's confirming a lower high at around 109 area, 109.20. So that's what we're looking at DXY. Crude oil is under a little bit of pressure. So the Dow, crude oil, and precious metals, commodities are all under pressure. As the U.S. dollar is trying to figure out where to push, position themselves. With what I think is a Fed rate hike tomorrow. Crude oil is under pressure, but it's still very bullish in my opinion. Had a goalless cross in the daily. It's coming up to this resistance at 93.73 a barrel, but that's still over $3 a barrel higher we can go. And that's the cup right here, this short-term cup and handle. But as I've put out here, the longer term, it's like a 3-layer. You got this first level of this pivot. You get on top of this, and then you're clear until right about 109. Think about this from the pump perspective. Think about this transporting things, diesel, all this stuff. So if it's at 109.90, and then it gets all the way up to 127, I mean, you're talking about a big differential at the pump, and it's already bad. So pay attention to what seems to be a rounding of the bottom of crude oil. We got a major pivot level we're coming up to at 93.73. If we break that and hold it, look out. And I believe we're off to the races coming here in crude oil. It's going to be bad. Very bad, especially what the BRICS are doing. Once it goes into petro, it's paid through gold and precious metals, as the BRICS are doing with the hand of Saudis, since they have such a large reserve of gold and silver. That would make obsolete the U.S. dollar being used as petro, which means U.S. priced or crude priced in U.S. dollars. It's going to go off the Richter scale. It's going to be a disaster. Same thing with U.S. government bonds. If this 10-year puts in a bullish handle, we're in some trouble here. The higher this goes, the worse. Don't want the government bonds so high. I mean, you want them a little higher, just so that if you're getting an interest rate, like we want it, we want the government to give us, so if we give them 10 years, we give them our money for 10 years, they're going to give us 4.34% right now. My argument is with B2 Gold, they're giving you over 5% dividend right now, and that's year over year. So you would not have to wait to sell your money out. But if you held it, let's just say 10 years, just like the government bond, you're getting shares on top of shares on top of shares put into that. And it's a high-paying dividend in regards to a commodity market, and it's not going nowhere. So, I mean, that's the apples to oranges comparison. Well, if I don't give it to the government for the government bond, how else can I make a yield? Easy. So the U.S. 10-year, it's either we continue going parabolic, we have a V-shaped recovery, as we can see, but if this breaks down, then you might have to come back and retest the 2.86. That, to me, would line with the double top up here, a failure, and then this lines up perfectly with 2024. So maybe starting in January, the BRICS start dumping, and all of a sudden we see a catastrophe start happening in the bond market, and the 10-year bond comes down to that 2.8%. Imagine you're only getting 2.8% on your money over 10 years. Just consider that when inflation's going crazy. That would be a slap in the face, and then no one's going to hold the government bonds. But that is especially what could happen here. We're trying to overinflate this market. We buy the government bonds like there's no tomorrow. But eventually that money, you can't keep doing it. Gold's under pressure down about $2, but we're still well within this descending triangle after breaking down the uptrending or the ascending formation. The technical target on a breakup would be 2029. The technical target on a breakdown would be 1792. However, you can stay within this all the way to the apex moment for gold until December 15th. So nothing more, nothing less to really add here. So that's what's going on with gold. Silver, same thing, under pressure, but we already know this. We're trying to consolidate here and see if we're actually going to have a breakout attempt. If you break down, you go to $18. If you break up, it's somewhere around $28. It's speculative, but those are cloned. So, and then let's see, Fortuna silver mines. We don't really need to get into these right now. Commodities are under pressure. B2 gold, as we've stated, it's either going to make a harsh correction after it breaks this uptrend and come down to the next layer. And we're assuming the next layer, it should get us somewhere. First layer is 280, but we're talking down here. We could get down to that 217 mark. And I know I keep deleting this, but this is really something we came back through. And I always look at this. So I always look at past formations to predict the next fall if we have it. So I believe that's probably what we've formed now. So just pay attention to this. Fortuna silver mines, if we or B2 gold, if we break this, you could be getting a $2.22 approximately price, which is what it honestly looks like could happen here. This would be if the US dollar has a parabolic spike to 109. Let's just call it for what it is. So you got to prepare both ways. And it's looking more bearish than bullish, just like with XRP. Yes, it's fighting for 51 cents, I seen someone said, or 51.30. 524 is the first real resistance, followed by the 534. And then ultimately, you got to get over 61 cents if you want to invalidate the structure. But there's a long ways to go. XRP is in a very bearish formation right now. So that's that. And then I just want to show you the gold silver chart real quick. The gold silver chart looks like it could start to go parabolic here soon, assuming we can verify this golden cross, which we said yesterday would be this little pullback, right around the 82.5 on the gold silver ratio. If it holds this and starts pushing back over 83.5, you have a big breakout attempt. First layer is going to be right around 86 to 1. Then you've got up here at 89, but I'm looking farther. 91.7, or ultimately, do we come back up here at 98 to 1 and finish this off? If not, if the US dollar spikes up, and let's just say silver doesn't fall as fast as gold, you could have a reversal here. Always pay attention to the overextension on the bottom. Until this overextension breaks, this support, this is like the overextension. If it hits here, it can still do it. Right around 80.5, 79.3, just depending on where you hit it. It stays valid as long as you stay over this uptrend. So just pay attention to that. It's basically everything I got for commodities. 44 people watching. I appreciate everybody who's taking the time to watch this midday market report. Like I said, this will be the least viewed thing I do all day, but it's going to take up a portion of my time. So the more people who watch, the more dedicated I'll be all around. 1.056 trillion for the total crypto market cap, up 12.143 billion, or 1.16% roughly. Still, this looks like an M-topping reversal in the making, just like in many other markets. It looks very bearish right now. We just need to break over the 200-day and ultimately try to reverse the 1.22 trillion and break out. If we can get over this short-term drop at about 1.142, technically we could try to make another rally somewhere over here, but it's going to take some work here. It's going to take some work around the top side of the breakout still, but generally we would have to retest again right around 944 billion. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. But if we get a 25 base point rate hike, who knows? That's what I think is going to happen. But, you know, what do we know? A lot of market manipulation takes place. We know this isn't a down channel. But we've also, in the immediate short term, I'm going to break some of this so that's not so confusing. This is basically, I can't break it down any more than this. I have to keep it like this. Because if you fall back within the formation, you've kind of got your plus minus area. This is your overextension. You could come down to 697 and get rejected, or you could support this until a breakout later on in May of 24. So we don't know, or you just have a collapse. But if you collapse like that, that means we're probably getting rid of some crypto. XRP up 1.69%. 5115, only briefly touching this. This is not an XRP update. 524 is your major resistance. Still have that dot cross. Looks like nothing more than a fake out here. But what you have to pay attention to is that fake out bear flag into a bull flag, as we've already got it merged out. Where I circled it is where my anticipation is, somewhere in there to get rejected. So yeah, I fully anticipate us to come over 52.4 if we're going to come down for one more rejection to validate that we're very bearish. So that's just what I'm seeing. Bitcoin, that 27,700 was firm for me. If we come over there and hold it, then we know we can come up here. But 27,700 has been what I've been watching. And we basically come up there. Haven't tapped it, but that's an area of concern. You could even say it could come up here to this up where we came up to 28,000, but 27,700 is where I'm looking for Bitcoin. And then I want to end it with this. So everybody tuning in, thank you for watching. 45 people watching, 39 likes. Make sure you subscribe if you appreciate this. And if you're watching this after, I don't know how many people will watch it, but this is going to take up, 20 to 30 minutes of my day going forward on Monday through Friday. So you support me in these times. I like to support more for going forward with other things I get asked in the community. If I don't get supported when I do precious metals, commodities, the market report, and just going through the market, I won't be as diligent in covering things outside of XRP or my favorite list. Because I run the show, because it's my channel. I like to get the input, and I'm very open, but I also am acknowledging the fact that not very many people watch the important stuff and just repeatedly ask me the same question. So I'm not going to be as open to answering the same questions over and over. I'm just going to simply say, watch this update or watch that update. So XRP, Dogecoin, and Litecoin removed from New York's crypto green list. Ami, welcome in. Radio Ear, welcome. Do you believe we will see our last bull run ever? No, this is not our last bull run ever. 2028 is the real bull run. 2024 should be some kind of a substantial move. Whether or not that collapses into the 95 to 98% of crypto going goodbye is to be seen. But 2025 into 2028 is all. That's where all the liquidity comes in. This is all fear. The article itself isn't FUD, but them making you think that all this is going to be delisted and illegal, that's fear, uncertainty, doubt. Understand the laws. In a notable development, the New York Department of Financial Services, NYDFS, has undertaken a substantial revision of its virtual currency framework, resulting in XRP, Dogecoin, Litecoin, among others, being removed from the state's green list. Does that surprise anybody? Really, does that surprise anybody? David, welcome in. Yes, how to win a war without firing a shot, exactly. But does this surprise anybody that XRP would be on this list? I mean, come on now. New York. Where is this case being held? I mean, of course they would. This is the most corrupt state probably in the USA. And I know California is on the top, but this is where a lot of these ridiculous laws get pushed into place. Prior, this green list boasted 25 tokens, including heavyweights such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Litecoin, XRP, and the emergent PayPal dollar. However, post yesterday's overhaul, the roster has been notably truncated, spotlighting only 8 tokens. So that's what I was saying. It started with 25, and now it seems to be 8. So remarkably, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only non-peg coins besides Gemini Dollar, GUSD, GMO, JPY, GYEN, GMO, USD, ZUSD, Pax Gold, Pax G, Pax Dollar, USDP, and PayPal Dollar, PYUSD. What it means for XRP, Dogecoin, and Litecoin, a DFS spokesperson, Lucy, the changes by stating the list of green-listed coins has been updated to follow the new general framework for green-listed coins. Accompanying this disclosure, a press release from the department expounded on its intent to clarify the protocols associated with coin listing and delisting for regulated entities. This sweeping revision also encompasses an escalation and risk assessment norms for coin listing paradigms and enhanced stipulations for businesses serving the retail sector. The correspondence from Superintendent Adrian A. Harris. Good morning, Anthony. Adrian A. Harris offers deeper insights into the department's stance as outlined in the directive from Harris, unless otherwise informed by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Virtual currencies business entities do not need the department's prior approval to list coins, including on the green list. However, entities are mandated to inform DFS ahead of time and should have an approved coin delisting policy. Detailing further the letter status, DFS will consider adding a coin to the green list if 1. The coin issuer has a demonstrated historic record consistent with safety and soundness and the protection of customers, including broad market adoption. Or 2, the coin is a stablecoin approved by DFS by issuance in New York by a VC entity. The letter also emphasizes that DFS maintains comprehensive discretion over the green list contents, including additions, removals, or any other alterations. And then just the last thing, and then I'll let you guys go. Superintendent Harris' proactive approach in recent times has underscored the department's intensified cryptocurrency oversight. This commitment was highlighted with a substantial $100 million settlement with Coinbase in January 23, addressing deficiencies in the ladder's compliance infrastructure. Furthermore, the DFS ordered Paxos to stop issuing Binance USD in February this year. Reactions to this updated framework have been varied within the crypto space. Pro-XRP lawyer Johnny Deaton conveyed skepticism, remarking after it was determined not to be a security, it's not even a security if Ripple sells it on exchanges. Yeah, this move isn't political or punitive in nature. In contrast, XRP community stalwart Wrath of All Kahneman offered clarity, stating Ripple did not lose the license in New York. XRP, the digital asset, was removed from the list today. So, I mean, nobody said anything about a license in my community, but I'm just sharing what's actually happening. People can say it's FUD, but the only thing that FUD about this is they're giving you fear, uncertainty, and doubt to the fact that you will be able to own these assets in the USA going forward. But let me tell you, this is the time when you want to pay the most attention. Notice how many people are in here, 54, 55. If I would have made this an XRP live, there'd be 130 people in here right now, or 100 people, because it's a midday market report, 55. So take it for what it's worth. I hope you enjoyed the midday market report. Take everything into account that I said. Beautiful 22-minute update. Make sure you hit that like button, as it will greatly help push this content through the analytics. Sean Crothers, welcome to my main man from Maine. I hope you're having a blessed start to the day. If you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, video description below. There's MEXC and or FEMX for USA users. There's also Uphold in there, but I suggest you use MEXC if you can, or FEMX for the lower spot maker fees. And then if you're looking to support me, you can look in the video description below. You can join Tom's Army, or you can send a YouTube super chat, which is right in front of you, but that's not necessary unless you really want to. Or there's other ways to send a donation. But other than that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and everybody who tunes into these midday market reports, Monday through Friday, it's a blessing to me. I love talking about commodities, precious metals. I love talking about the Dow and the 10-year, and just the overall market structure with the DXY and the crude oil. You know, and it's nice to touch some of these things. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will catch you sometime later today for an update. And then tonight at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time approximately, we will do the normal live where we do crypto. We cover all of our favorite cryptos. We'll go over tonight XRP, XLM, DGB. We'll take a closer look at Bitcoin to see where we're at. And then we'll go through some of our favorite ones as well. I really have a hankering to cover tonight Corium and Solo. So we'll take a look at those as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay blessed.